Anyway, so again, thanks so much, Michael, for joining me. Michael Tita from Lighthouse Inspections is a certified home inspector whom I've been working with for a long time. Michael's experience, he is got a diploma from Humber College as architectural technologist, correct?
That's right.
Michael has
Yeah.
worked in different construction fields as well as alongside of a structural engineer. Michael has been in the industry for 17 years and completed over 8,000 home inspections to this day. Anything else we can add to it?
Just I've done everything from brand new homes to century homes and everything in between. So a lot of experience. Yeah.
That's exciting. So Michael, if we go through, like I said, I've been doing this for a while too, actually probably about the same time as you are. There are three things that I look at a home inspection. The very first thing, when people decide to do a home inspection, it allows us to determine the sort of the overall health of the building. We're looking at the structural soundness of the house as well as the mechanical systems of the house. The second thing that I think the home inspections are important for is because if things do come up and there is an issue, the purchaser has an option to fix it prior to closing or possibly walk away from the home if they have to walk away, if they're not prepared to take on whatever the problem might be. And they vary from larger to smaller. And the third aspect of the home inspection, why I like them, and actually that's my favorite one, is because I look at it as if you owned a home before, but you didn't own this particular home. And if you never owned a home before, it allows you to sort of go through the house layer by layer and discover it with you, because my suggestion is that most people will not take their time once they're in the home to look at a house in the way that you're going to do it with them. So would you be so kind and walk us through what a regular home inspection would look like?
Correct. You're right on all aspects there, because when you're showing a house, you're looking at the superficial things. So when we do the home inspection, we're looking at the nuts and bolts, right? We're looking at the structure. So typically, I will meet with you and the client on site, of course. Now with COVID, our protocol is just to have one buyer, ideally, but to maintain our physical distancing.
Right.
And I will be on site with gloves and mask to, again, keep everyone safe.
Right.
So typically I will be going through the inspection and doing my thing. I go around taking pictures, making notes. I will educate the client and show them any of the issues that I come across during the inspection. And of course, I document that, and that all gets put into the report. So, and learning about the house, like you said earlier, so it's important to know where the important shutoffs are for water and electrical, and know how your furnace system works and where the filters are to do that regular maintenance. So that's an excellent learning opportunity for the client. Like you said, whether they're first-time home buyers or they've owned a house before, every house is somewhat different in terms of the mechanicals.
So the bottom line is, and this is what I know you've done with past people we work with, you take them layer by layer. And I know we, start either on the outside, actually. A lot of the times we start off on the outside, the roof and the foundations, and look for all kinds of different issues from there. And then we go up and again, start off at the attic and floor by floor by floor until we get down to the mechanicals and all that, which is really cool. Like I said, I'm learning so much from you actually every single time we do a home inspection. And we know they're not always perfect. So
that's right. Yeah. Yes. Every house, there's going to be some issues, and it's good to know what those issues are. And typically I will go through and explain what causes them, how to repair them, give a rough idea in terms of what the repair cost will be. So that kind of important knowledge helps the client decide whether they're going to continue with purchasing this house. If it's a major item, if it's a minor item, that all gets prioritized as well. So there's always minor items, and it's good to know what those minor items are. So, and then what the major items, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And now, a lot of times I have a question of, whether, how do you see behind the walls? Like, and I know the answer would probably be the infrared camera. And then the follow-up question would be, is that part of a regular home inspection? Is that already a standard, or is that something that's extra at the moment? I'm not sure what the answer to that is. And what
Well,
does infrared tell people?
so the infrared camera works off temperature difference. So it can pick up things that aren't visible from the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
So it picks up hot and cold spots, and it can potentially pick up cold spots from a leak or missing insulation or a potential hot spot, say from an electrical issue that's maybe behind the wall that's not, again, visible, or even potentially like a rodent or critter problem. It'll,
Interesting.
show that hot spot as well. So
Mm.
that's one of the tools that I use when I'm doing the inspection. So
And is that something
I
that the
guess
client has to sort of request extra, or you do it regardless every single home inspection right now?
I do it kind of regardless, and I will use it, as again one of my tools when I feel that it's needed to kind of spot check certain items. If I suspect that there's something going on, maybe behind the wall or in the ceiling, I'll scan that area, that sort of thing. So it's not a standard. Yeah, not all home inspectors have the thermal camera. It is a very expensive camera.
Mm-hmm.
In our industry, it's not required by our association.
Okay.
So again, some inspectors have the camera, some don't. So I've been trained on the camera for over 10 years now, and I do use it. And
Very cool. Yes. Yes. Now, Michael, having done a lot of those home inspections, what would you say that, because we know that, there isn't a house that's perfect. What are the top 5 issues that arise sort of during a home inspection that kind of pop to your head? Like, what can people expect? What are we looking for?
yeah, can I actually go through some of the things that are included too? Because some people might ask in regards to that.
Sure.
Yeah. So typically, if someone hasn't experienced a home inspection in the past, they might not know what's included. So, like you mentioned earlier, I do start off on the exterior. So I check the roof, the doors, the windows, the drainage, the grading, the garage, everything on the exterior of the home. Then I typically start in the basement, checking the electrical system, the plumbing, the HVAC, which is your heating and cooling. Again, I check the structure from inside, looking for any structural issues, any leaks in the structure, in the basement, that sort of thing. I do look for leaks throughout the house when I'm testing the plumbing at all the bathrooms or kitchen areas. Of course, I'm going to test all the electrical and check the attic as well. So attic is very important to, again, check the underside of the roof, look for any roof structure issues, insulation problems, ventilation problems. So there's a lot that we see in the attic, unfortunately, sometimes, as you know. So I guess the top common problems, I would say mold is one of them. Unfortunately, we come across sometimes in the attic, sometimes in the basement or other parts of the house. Leaks, whether it's roof leaks or plumbing leaks, that sort of thing, or even basement leaks. Electrical problems, whether it be the electrical service or panel or some other minor electrical issues. Safety items, handrails for stairs, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide. These are all other items that we're looking at. And then again, roof issues too. There's quite a bit of roof problems. So I think those would be the top 5.
Oh, wow, cool. And you know what? Like I said, I've gone through and some of those items that you had mentioned, we all experienced. And I think the most important thing for anybody to know is that there is ways to resolve a lot of them. They may sound scary, but a lot of times it's just knowing how to be guided through a particular issue and getting it resolved, right? because again, I know that in the past when I heard a leak in a foundation, it was like, oh my God, the house is falling. But we know that it's not, and it's $500 or maybe it's 700 by now, and the issue in many ways could be resolved. When it's something bigger, then obviously it's bigger. But a lot of times it's minor things that seem more expensive than they really are. Would you agree?
Correct. And that's one of the important things of being on site too, for the client. They're going to learn about what the issues are. And I do explain, what causes it, how to repair it, and knowing whether it's a major or minor, and give them a rough idea in terms of repair costs. So that is definitely something that they're going to learn.
Michael, and I'm going to go off script here now a little bit because I just thought about it right now as we're talking. Do you do a lot of pre-listing home inspections versus, after the first, like, is there, especially now during the COVID, do you find yourself doing a lot more pre-listing home inspections versus regular purchased home inspections?
It's still not a huge percentage of my business doing pre-listing inspections, but it has become more in the last few years for sure. With COVID now, it has also become a priority for some people, because that way it can give a couple of different options in terms of people that sometimes don't get the chance to do their own inspection. And it also minimizes the amount of people having to come through the house as well with COVID. So it is a good option to do. And a lot of people do it, especially on older homes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, Michael, thank you so very much for your knowledge and for your time and for agreeing to do this interview with me. You're one of my top inspectors in Mississauga, the top inspector. So I hope that anybody that gets to work with me gets to work with you and get to know you and know how wonderful of a home inspector you are. So thanks so much for your time today. And I'm looking forward to our next home inspection together.
Sounds great, Annetta. Thank you for having me. And any future questions your clients may have, if they want to, they can contact me directly sometimes, and yourself, of course. So
I know. Thank you very much, Michael. You have a great day.
Thanks, Annetta.